Greetings, my brothers.
Greetings.
It is official. Blake Griffin has been traded to the Detroit Pistons.
What?
He's no longer with the Clippers.
What?
After all of that hard work, after all of that blood, sweat, and tears, they traded Blake Griffin like a game of NBA 2K17 at GameStop. They got rid of Blake Griffin like a dirty tampon, and I have documentations explaining exactly why they did it. I wrote a full article about this on SeanBlazington.me. You can head over there and check it out. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the Rockets and the Clippers got into it.
Yeah.
They were fighting on the court, and they even took their fight off of the court. Chris Paul and the Rockets ran into the Clippers locker room like the Wu-Tang Clan. And when they did this, Blake Griffin was nowhere to be found.
Bitch ass.
It says here when the security looked at their surveillance cameras, they saw Blake Griffin running top speed.
Gone.
He bust out of the door, he hopped into his Kia, and he pulled off. He didn't show back up until the next day, and when he walked into the facility, no one talked to him, no one greeted him, because he's not the type of guy they want to keep around their organization. And this is the reason why they traded him to the Detroit Pistons. Blake Griffin is not about that life.
Nah.
When you're in the NBA, you have to be able to go to war.
Yeah.
You guys see what goes on the basketball court, but you don't know about what happens once the game is over.
Facts.
These guys have Uzis, Tech 9s, grenade launchers. Blake Griffin is going to get pistol whipped playing with the Pistons. Patrick Beverley is about that life, but he's injured right now. But he was ready to throw down in that locker room. All of the other Clippers except for Doc Rivers and Austin Rivers was ready to throw down in that locker room. But Blake Griffin got the heck up out of there. DeAndre Jordan, he wants to go to the Rockets, so he didn't put up a fight. But he stayed in the building. He held it down with his squad. But Blake Griffin, on the other hand, he's not about that street life. And the worst place he could possibly go is Detroit, Michigan. Guys like Draymond Green, they come from Michigan, so they know the ins and out of the streets. They know you have to be tough inside and outside. But Blake Griffin will not survive in Detroit. Nah. He will not survive with the Pistons. Nah. He's going to have to toughen up now or never. And what I'm telling you is facts, because the Clippers traded Blake Griffin for a pack of Rough Riders. They traded him for some thugs.
Crips.
They traded him for some official gangbangers.
GDs.
And that was the best thing they could do, because they need tough guys on their squad, especially when they're in LA. When you're playing in the City of Angels, you can't be an angel. And Blake Griffin was the closest thing to St. Michael's than anyone else on that squad. Blake Griffin doesn't even have tattoos. What NBA player you know don't even have tattoos?
Oh, no.
Even J.R. Smith got tattoos.
Facts.
LeBron James got tattoos.
Yeah.
Even Kobe Bryant had a few tattoos. But Blake Griffin, no tattoos.
Damn.
Let's go down the list on Blake Griffin. First of all, he has freckles.
Curly suit.
That's not intimidating at all. Second of all, he's a redhead.
Mary Jane.
He's not scaring anyone in the NBA. Even his name is soft. Blake Griffin. That sounds like a businessman or something. I'll give you guys a tough name. Check this out. What's up? Andre Drummond. Damn. Doesn't that make you think of an OG gangster with a Tommy gun just shooting down his enemies?
Damn.
Andre Drummond.
Woo.
Now that's gangster. And I made up a new name for Blake Griffin to keep people off his back, to keep people from punking him. I made up a new name that will solidify his gangsterism within the NBA.
Oh, really?
Now check this out. Let me know if you guys like this name in the comment section.
All right.
Blake Griffin's new name should be Blake Snakes. Now let me say that again just in case you didn't hear me. Blake Snakes. You know, like the snakes that slither? Blake Snakes is official. That doesn't even sound like an NBA name. That sounds like a UFC name.
Facts.
Would you want to mess with a dude named Blake Snakes? If he doesn't take my advice and change his name from Blake Griffin to Blake Snakes, he doesn't have a chance at surviving within the NBA. Because you have to be a thug nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to carry Tommy guns. You have to have the oo-wop with you.
Yeah.
You have to have the blicky handy.
Yes, nah.
All that redhead and freckles, you're not going to be able to survive in Detroit.
No.
And to sum up this video, the reason why Blake Griffin got traded is because he is simply not the ride or die type of guy that the Clippers need. He's not willing to bust clips, so what's the point in him being a Clipper?
No.
When Trevor Ariza walked up in that locker room and looked Blake Griffin in his face, he ran out of the door like Speedy Gonzalez.
Pussy.
He was gone like Casper the Ghost.
Bitch.
Blake Griffin is used to palm trees, beautiful women, nice weather. He's used to living the good life. But Detroit is the other side of the ball game. The ghetto. Detroit is the worst city you can possibly live in. I would rather live in Chicago before I live in Detroit. Me too. I want everyone to say a prayer for Blake Griffin tonight because he's in a tight situation. Yeah. He went from living on Melrose to living on 8 Mile. Blake Griffin is the Slim Shady of the NBA. He has vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. He's going to lose himself in every moment and in every basketball game. The Pistons will suck. These guys will not mesh well. You got the hardcore Andre Drummonds with the Blake Griffin. That's not going to be a good match unless Blake Griffin changes his name to Blake Snakes.
That's hard.
Then they'll have a chance at going to the finals. He needs a few more tattoos. He needs to dye that hair black. He needs to put some makeup over those freckles. I don't know what he's going to do, but one thing for sure, it's so hard in the D. Anyways, I gotta get going. I would love it if you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, hit that notification button, show me some love. This is your boy Sean Blaze. I'm out.
You are my lover, I'll always want you, girl. You're so amazing, just like my documentations. You are my lover, I'll always want you, girl. You're so amazing, just like my documentation.
Sean Blazington back with the facts. Tried to tell the truth, but you can't handle that. You're living in the dark like an alley cat. My documentation is the candle and the match.
You are my lover, I'll always want you, girl. You're so amazing, just like my documentations. You are my lover, I'll always want you, girl. You're so amazing, just like my documentations.